So what you're seeing tonight is Return to Abya Yala by Abya Yala. You're going to hear a little bit more about the play in a moment, but I want to tell you a little bit about Play Incubation Collective if you're new. PIC is a local launchpad for new theatrical works that foster civic dialogue, and this play is a perfect and beautiful example of a story that I think Abya posted somewhere today, the message that through stories we can heal. And we really believe in that message, that it's through storytelling, through sharing, that we can connect and heal. And we always need more of that. So in addition to doing long-term residencies, we also offer shorter mini residencies for playwrights. We also do works in progress salons for anyone who wants to share a short work in progress of a poem, a song, a dance, a spoken word piece, a solo show, and those happen all across the valley. It's a chance for artists to really connect with each other and share new work in a new space.
And so Abya came to us originally with a pretty filled out outline of this play, but that's it. And then 9 months later, which is where we are now, we have this first full draft. And you are the very first people to ever hear it read out loud, aside from those of us who've been working on it. So that is a super exciting thing, and we are just thrilled that you're here to share in this experience with us. So what happened in those 9 months that brought this play from an outline to a full draft? Well, Abya worked with a team of creative advisors who you can read about in the program, and they worked together to sort of create the world of the play in an ongoing dialogue, both through a personal lens and a dramaturgical lens. And then in come the actors. Sometimes the actors were up on their feet working on the script, and other times they were also engaging in open conversation and sort of devising, working together to figure out further the world of the play and the characters and how it was all going to play out. And then Abya would take those notes from those conversations and add them into the script. And so now we've arrived at this first full draft. And that's sort of, that kind of conversation, being up on your feet, different angles of creating a play is how PIC works on new work and how we help support playwrights as they develop their new pieces. We look to the playwright to tell us what they need in order to create the world of their play, and we work to source all of that. So finding the people, finding the spaces, making space to just meet the playwright where they are in their process.
And Abya's goal and dream at the beginning was, I hope by December I have a full draft, and this is exactly where we are, and so there's so much to celebrate today. A lot of these folks, actors, have been with the process from the very beginning in April and May, and some of the actors have just joined us in the past few weeks or months. So it's really exciting to have the full cast. You'll get introduced to their characters. Many of them are playing multiple characters, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. The play has had a few sharings prior to this one. We've gotten to share excerpts of it at City Space in East Hampton, at Gateway City Arts in Holyoke, and at UMass. And we're really so pleased to be sharing it with you tonight. And we're going to invite Priscilla and Elisa and Abya up to give a little more context for the play.
All right, hello. We did work this out. How do you stand between us, my love? So my name is Priscilla Maria Page. I'm a professor of theater. Specifically, I teach dramaturgy and theater history, and I am the director of the Multicultural Theater Certificate at UMass. Abya and I met when we took my Latinx theater class a few years ago, pre-pandemic, and Abya was working on their degree at Hampshire College. And so I've known them for a while, and I was honored to be asked to join this project. And I've loved getting to know the characters and getting to know you even more through your writing. And I'm really excited about what we'll be seeing this evening. And so Elisa will introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Elisa Gonzalez. I'm also a professor of theater at UMass. I teach voice and acting, and this is the first time I've gotten to work with our wonderful playwright. I've worked with Pick previously, so I'm so honored to be joining in this process as a creative advisor.
And Elisa and I were talking about the process and about our conversations with you and about what it means to be involved. And when you said it was a 9-month process, I'm like, happy birthday! That's perfect. Yeah, a birthday. So happy birthday, everyone. And that makes sense because we were talking about the lineage of very specifically Chicana theater and more broadly Latinx and Latine theater, and how important it is to see and support new voices who are telling stories about lineage, ancestral connection, family, repair within family, repair with regard to land and home. And so as Elisa and I were talking about that today, we also wanted to share just something very small from a book that was important to both of us, This Bridge Called My Back, edited by Shiri Moraga and Gloria Ansaldúa. And so we looked at a small section from the introduction. So if you will, Shiri was writing that This Bridge Called My Back, the book, was written for all the women in it and all the women whose lives the work would touch. And she writes, "We are a family who first only knew each other in our dreams, who have come together on these pages to make faith a reality and to bring all of ourselves to bear down hard on that reality."
It is about physical and psychic struggle. It is about intimacy, a desire for life between all of us, not settling for less than freedom even in the most private aspect of our lives, a total vision. And then she says, for the women in this book, I will lay down my body for that vision, This Bridge Called My Back.
And we just want to make sure that we place your work in this long and very strong lineage of powerful women who are writing their truths. That's what we'll see tonight.
Thank you for me cry.
Tears are welcome. They're part of cleansing and healing too, right? Just take a breath. This is for you. This is for you.
Yeah, so this play, Return to Abya Yala, came about during a pregnancy scare that I had. And I thought to myself, if I could have a child, which I had been told I would not be able to, I kind of thought, what would happen if I did? And they're here in Western Massachusetts, and they're so far away from San Antonio where I grew up. And I'm already existing as someone in the diaspora, disconnected from my family in Mexico. And I wondered, would they ever be able to make it back home? Would they know my family there, our family there, who they come from, who they are? And I began to ask questions about sort of what an apocalypse and a dystopian future would look like for San Antonio. There's this place that has so much culture of Tejano music, of Mexican American traditions, the Chicano ideals and all its divisions, and you know, reconnecting natives who live in Texas and are living in that diaspora. And I began to wonder, like, how would a future look like for Southern natives and for the complex ideas of Latinidad and Mestizaje and Chicanoism, Mexican nationalism, and how reconnecting and connecting people who are displaced and tribalized, how it would be for them, how it is to just be disconnected from our land in Abya Yala that's now a colonialized settlement. So as the script is read tonight, I invite everyone here to really hear the questions asked and consider the clashing complex ideas and identities and struggles against or amongst the indigenous and Latino community here in America, Mexico, and Central and South America. So the setting is, of course, San Antonio in what looks like a dystopian future in a settler eye, but to indigenous folks is a place of healing.
This San Antonio is called Santos. On the south side, where my family grew up, known as the Treaty of South Santos in Texas, or now known as the Tejas Corridor. The treaty and land alliances that exist are South Santos, Western Santos, North Santos, the Santos Alliance as a whole, as well as the Mexican missionaries that are a part of the Central Tejas Council that make up the center part of what was previously known as the I-35 corridor, the Greater Tejas Corridor, which was previously Texas, as well as the former American Empire, the land that we exist on now, that is stolen land. So I will turn it over to the wonderful America.
So I'm just going to do intro. So my name is Michelle Falcon Fontanes. I'm one of the advisors and also directors. I'll also be reading the stage directions for this evening.
Hello, I'm Kate Stephanie. I'll be reading for Enza, the speaker, and Whistle Children.
Hi there, I'm Gabriel Cifuentes. I'm playing Rock and Vincent.
Hi, Julia. I'll be reading for Ureli and Young Mama Oach.
Hola, soy Natalie Vicencio, and I will be reading for Mama Oach.
Hi, I'm Patricia Montoya, and I will be playing for Tito.
Unang kaunay, nagkasawis, nagkusunasyon ka nakonitmak. My name is Jasmine, and I will be reading for Zoe and Lo.
My name is Bear Cockett. I'll be reading for Mantis and Chucho.
Hi, my name is Abya Yala, and I'll be reading for Young Mama Oach and Ms. Chico representative.
My name is Mike Sharon Tate. I'll be reading for Eco and for
Thank you. So before we begin, I'll be reading the cast of characters, a little bit more of their
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm Sarah Marcus, one of the co-founders of PEG.
I'm Rachel F. Hirsch, I'm the fellow of
And we always like to start our events by just having people know each other and feel really welcome. So if you don't know the people sitting next to you or behind you, maybe just take a moment to say your name to someone near you if you'd like.
Nice to meet you. Likewise.
Now you know each other a little bit better, and we'll give you some more time to chat later. We're so just feeling full of pride and happiness to be able to present Return to Abya Yala tonight. We're really, really pleased to be able to present it at Nueva Esperanza in Holyoke. We'd like to acknowledge this land that we're on, land that's stewarded by the Nipmuc people who are still active and present today. As you take in the themes of this play, there's a lot to really reflect on and think about in terms of our land and the past and the future. We have so many people to thank that made this project that's been a 9-month-long, as we talked about last night, gestational process possible. And those sponsors include the Art Angels, the Scarlet Song Foundation, 50 Arrow Gallery and Attack Press, and City Spaces Pay It Forward program, along with Northampton Open Media and University of Massachusetts. We have a few announcements for you to be aware of. As you may have noticed, we were blasting the heat as you came in because we have to have it off during the performance because it's so loud. We have space heaters on, which will hopefully keep you cozy. We have tea available that you're welcome to get at any point. We also have some blankets in the back if you didn't dress warmly and are feeling like I could use another layer. Really, we want this to be a welcoming space. Grab a blanket. Feel free to use the bathrooms, which are this way if you need to. The reading is 2 hours without an intermission. So truly, if you need to take a break, to stand up, to stretch, to change your seat, to go to the bathroom, all of that is fine. If you haven't turned off your cell phones, it's an invitation to please do so. Did I say yet? We'll have a reception at the end. We have some food and drinks and tea, and if you don't have to run off, we'd love for you to stay and get a chance to chat a little more with Arya and the cast of the play. And I'd like to tell you just a little bit about Play Incubation Collective before we tell you a little more about the process of the play. For those of you who are new, or this is your first PIC event, PIC is a local launchpad for new theatrical work that fosters civic dialogue. And this play is really a beautiful example of a play that can really foster so much rich conversation. As Arya said yesterday in a post, through stories we heal. And there's a lot of healing power in the story that you're going to see tonight. In addition to doing long-term residencies like this one, we also do shorter mini residencies. We do works in progress salons all across the valley to really give artists a chance to connect with each other and feel empowered to share new work.
So Arya came to PIC with this piece, and originally it was just a filled out outline. And now it's 9 months later, and tonight you are going to experience the first sharing of a full completed draft, which is truly remarkable to have developed over 9 months. And in fact, it was the exact goal that Arya came in with. So that is super exciting. Arya said, in 9 months, by December, I want to have a completed draft. I want an audience to be able to hear it. And you're all here to share in that tonight. And we're so grateful to you for being a part of this experience with us. So what happened over those 9 months that brought us to today? Well, it started with the help of a group of creative advisors. They're all listed in your program, so please be sure to take a look at that. And Arya met with the advisors, and through conversation, both through the lens, personal lens and a dramaturgical lens, they all together helped shape the world of the play. Then the actors come in. They're working with Arya on their feet with the script, so Arya can see it and hear it, and sometimes also engaging in that same sort of conversation, open dialogue, sort of devising, if that's a term you're familiar with. And Arya would take those notes and ideas and incorporate them into the script and into the story. The actors helped develop the characters with Arya, helped continue to fill out the world of the play. And that's really exactly how PIC works, as we turn to the artist, the writer, and we look to them for what do they need in order to achieve their goals. And then we work to source everything they need to do that. So in Arya's case, it was really looking for a team to engage in a lot of dialogue around creating the world of this play. And so that's what everyone here did. And you'll get to see the results of that tonight.
The actors that you see, many of them have been with the process from the very beginning, and some we kind of added on as the play grew and as more characters were coming into existence, and we're really grateful for every single one of them that's here tonight. We've had the opportunity to share short excerpts of this play. Some of you may have been there for the earliest excerpts, which we shared at City Space in East Hampton, at Gateway City Arts in Holyoke, and we also shared it at UMass this past November. And what you're going to see tonight is, as Rachel said, a first draft, a reading. It's an invitation to really focus on the text and the world of the play. And through Michelle, who's reading the stage directions, you'll be able to imagine a lot of the elements of the play that we hope will come to life very soon when it has the opportunity to be fully staged. I'm going to invite Arya, our playwright, up to join us. Last night we had two of our creative advisors, Priscilla Marie Page and Elisa Gonzalez, were here to help give an introduction, and they provided a beautiful context for talking about how meaningful this process has been for them to work on with Arya, and both of them are scholars and professors of Latinx theater, and really placed Arya's play in the canon of Chicana theater and Latinx theater.
This play came about around,
It's a really emotional thing to put your personal story onto paper and have people listen to it.
yeah, it's a lot. And to have a cast of all people of color, to be a person of color, to have an opportunity like this to just exist in development is a very thing. It's a wonderful thing to process, and I'm really glad I have this opportunity and for well-respected, well-renowned professors to hold me in the light that I could be a part of the canon is very amazing. This play came about around the COVID-19 pandemic. I had a pregnancy scare, and knowing that going home is very hard around that time, and that my family is far away. We're displaced people from Mexico, the settler colonial state of Mexico. I began to wonder if this kid were to come into existence, what would happen to them? Would they know who they come from, where they come from, their family, where I came from? And then I began to think about San Antonio and the way that dystopia and apocalypse tend to happen, and what would that look like for the Mexican-American community in San Antonio, the reconnecting Southern Native community, and how all those things come together, and how would my family be if the world were to come to an end as we know it, and what would happen to this place that my family has called home for so long, with all of its rich culture of Tejano music, of Mexican-American traditions and Chicano ideals, and all the divisions and struggles that come with these complex identities. And I began to wonder, what would happen with these identities, these complex identities within Latinidad that so many of us are at odds with, take pride within. So as we read this script tonight, I'd like to invite you to really hear those questions, to really consider the identities within Southern Natives and our identities within Latinidad and Mestiaje and Chicanoism, as well as how Mexican nationalism plays out for reconnecting and connected folks who are displaced and detribalized, and how so many of us who are displaced from our lands of Abya Yala, that is now a colonialized settlement, how all these things look in the future and now, in the way they exist in these clashing complexities, how they play out, and what they mean for us and for healing in this world and in the future. Thank you.
So Arya is going to give you kind of an introduction into the world of this play.
So this play, of course, is set in the future of San Antonio, now known as Santos. In San Antonio, if you're familiar, we divide the city by north, west, and south. The south side is primarily where my family is coming from. And this is where the play takes place, in the South Santos Treaty, which is the south side of San Antonio, that's distinguished by the train tracks in San Antonio. Then there's the Western Santos Treaty, the west side of San Antonio, west side of the tracks. The North Santos, which is the north side, predominantly white, where there is these people in this world called the children of Isaiah who follow the way of the Lord's path, basically Christianity, and holding on to ideals of the American empire that we exist in today. This all creates the Santos Alliance that is once known as San Antonio. There is the Mexico Missionaries, a group of Chicanos or Mexican Americans who hold strongly to these Chicano ideals that are based in Mestiaje, in the cosmic race, and distinguishing away from indigenous and black culture within Abya Yala, now colonialized settled land. And then there is the Central Tejas Council that is composed of all these treaties along the I-35 corridor as we know it today, the Greater Tejas Corridor that is formerly known as Texas, as well as the former American Empire that is today. Thank you.
So I'm going to start us off with some character descriptions. So we have Mama Oach, a no-nonsense woman who is best friends with Love, partner of Idemos, respected elder of Santos, not afraid to whack someone in the physical and spiritual sense. We will also see a young Mama Oach. Zora, or Zoe, daughter of Toria and Nia. She follows her mother's dream of returning to Santos to find her family and people. Ra, council member of the Central Council chapter of the Greater Tejas Corridor, representing the South Santos Street, respectful and trusting of Mama Och as his elder and mentor. Enza, right hand to Ra, but never afraid to take charge or her own lead, even if it might defy Ra's words. Mestiza. Jared, a sweet, quiet, gentle young woman who traveled with her father Mantis to aid in healing the southern lands. She's a self-appointed caretaker of Mama Och. Mantis, a healer who works alongside Hidemos in healing the southern lands and its people. He loves Mama Och dearly as his surrogate grandmother, father of Jared. Hidemos, healer working to renew the southern lands and its people. Mass femme genderqueer, partner of Mama Och. We will also see young Didemos. Toria, mother of Zoe. She dreamed of returning to Santos to reunite with her family and people. Vincente, Ra's great-grandfather, reformed troublemaker. Chucho, Och's younger brother, founder of Archives. Head of Council Eco, a man trying his hardest to keep the peace, even if it means turning from his values. Abuelado, grandmother of Toria, best friend of Mama Och, Zoe's great-grandmother. Mexico representative, who is representing their missionary. Act 1, Scene 1. Outside an old San Antonio house, complete with the barred windows and all, in what is now South Santos, Zoe stares at a mound of dirt, willing a blue bonnet to sprout from beneath the ground. Titemos comes from inside the house, shaking their head at Zoe's stubbornness.
It won't grow. It's been the case since any have grown here. They'll return when it's time.
When will it ever be time?
That's a question for yourself.
Has there been any news?
Lo siento.
It's been 6 months.
Yeah. You have to know this won't be easy. Many connections have been lost over decades. Let alone maintained.
But Titi, they should have left a trace.
So,
The barred screen door slams open as Mama Och clambers out, followed by a stressed Jareli.
Mama, let me bring you your chair.
I need a chair, Yareli.
At least use a cane. That walking stick isn't enough.
Jareli goes for the walking stick, just for Mama Och to smack her hip with the walking stick. Jareli barely flinches, but holds her sore hip with one hand, using the other to help Mama Och down the stairs.
Stop like that.
Old don't mean death.
Mama,
I don't, Mama. I'm old, not brittle.
She will be if you don't take precautions.
Do I look like a precaution-taking woman to you? Not. When you were born out from Hooch into this side of the Mississippi waters, I was high off peyote, staring down gun barrels as my ancestors gave me epiphanies to secure the lands.
I'm sure you did, Mama.
Tell them, Moshi, we were riots in the heyday of the empire's fall. I'll tell you, we were living a white suburban leftist wet dream, fighting for the lands well past sunset and well before sunrise, sabotaging oil rigs, tending to our sick and wounded, connecting with our guides, and having the wildest. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still going strong.
cochina.
Why, we've never had better sex. My point is, I'm old, but not brittle. Yareli, you keep that chair away from my nalgas right now.
See, Mama.
Now, walk me to mass. I've got some words for Jesus.
Mama Och, Titemos!
Boy, what are you yelling for?
Roth. It's Roth.
What's wrong with Rose?
He got in again with the Mexico missionaries. It was bad this time. The Mexicos are calling for head member Council Eco to suspend him from the Central Council.
How about us?
Well, 1, 2, maybe 3 of the Mexicos are being sent to the medic center. It got ugly to say the least.
Can't say I'm not proud.
Amma!
They probably deserved it.
Mama,
You know I'm right.
even so.
Was he provoked?
As always, there really is some sore spots.
How are we gonna get him out of it this time?
We won't. He needs to face the consequences. Lord knows that we've warned him.
Is that really fair, Amma? He was provoked again!
I told him already. He can't take those neo-colonizers on with rash actions. And he won't find allies in the Texas corridor, let alone Santos, acting as he has. We know what we know, and Santos knows what it wants to know, even after all this time.
I still don't understand. Why does he need to sleep and be? They're not hurting anybody, right?
Well, not directly now, but their message, what they stand for.
Might as well colonize the land all over again.
When is the council meeting?
Tonight, at St. James after last Mass.
All right, then we'll all go to Mass, including so.
Why me?
You've been here for more than 6 months, so it's time you put some work into the community. Become part of it.
Listen to Tite. You've been part of this community since your conception. Your family may not be here anymore, but this was their home for well over a century. These lands are your roots as much as the eastern woodlands. About time you let Santos welcome you. But Mama, you want to reconnect? This is how you start. Yareli?
Act 1, Scene 2. Last Mass comes to a close at St. James. Folks rearrange themselves in the pews in anticipation of the council meeting, as others set up the chairs around the altar on the raised platform. Head Council Eagle positions himself at the altar. The remaining council members representing North, South, East, and West Santos sit to his left and right. La Familia sits to the left in the front pews. Across them in the right front pews are Mex Chico representatives. Eagle begins.
The called upon council meeting today will now begin. The council will discuss the alleged offenses committed by Roth against several members of the Mexico missionary clan, and a proposal for restorative repair should the alleged offending party be found guilty.
Fake news if I ever heard it.
Och!
That's Madame Oach to you, puto.
Vamos!
Señor.
Hey, I'm not gonna keep Madame Oach from speaking with her old friend Jesus.
Enough! Moving on. Will the representative of the Mexico clan share with the council and Santos constituents their account of today's alleged offense?
Head Council Eco, this little show is a flawless example as to why Roth is not right to have a place on this council, no right to a leadership role in our community. He is a disgrace to Santos and his community, a disgrace to the legacy of his great-grandfather, his grandfather, nonetheless his father, who, mind you, abandoned the boy, let alone to leave him to be raised by two mentally unstable Indians. Roth has a history of attacking our people. Today he has gone too far by sending 2 of our people to the medical center. Oach and Moses' inability to control their grown child shows us that the community, that the lineage does not ever make for a great leader. A truth we have seen throughout history, time and time again.
Well, to be clear, these attacks have been verbal. This is the first time we are addressing a physical offense done by Roth. As an elder of the council, I urge the Santos Council members to keep this in mind and remember our values of restorative repair and pursuit of justice in the way we repair and rehabilitate offenses.
Yes, yes. Thank you for this wise reminder, Senior Mos. Can the Mexico now share their proposal for restorative repair for the offender?
Well, wait a minute.
Roth!
So much for alleged.
With all due respect to community values, we are calling on the council to remove Roth from his position.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Those who dance on lines often fall into the cracks.
That's a hefty proposal. Please, explain your reasoning.
Yes. We, as the Mexico Missionary Clan, have no representation on this council. Which to us, and we know others in Santos as well, is just unjust, as we are members of the Santos community. Like everybody else, we are kept out by the lineage rule, a rule based in blood quantum, a colonizer's idea. We want the community to come together. Sans bloodline, a value that keeps us as a community divided.
Coach? I mean, Madam Coach. Is there something that you'd like to say?
Not at all your pendejosness.
Oh, I got something to say. My great-grandfather, who, like these unstable Indias, mind you, our elders, was part of the rebuild after the fall. He was a local revolutionary. He is why we are standing here today. He pieced together a council for Santos and kept us connected as a community to the greater Tejas corridor, a task my father is doing this very minute in Travis Williams. My father left me in the care of these two wise elders so that I can follow in the footsteps of every man before me, as in my bloodline, as it is my birthright. I put not only my blood, but my sweat and my tears into protecting and securing the future of my people, of these South Santos, and Santos as a whole. Something the Mexico could never say for themselves.
Birthright, bloodline. It's that choice of word that comes from white colonialist ideas. The same ideas you want us to believe that you're
That's
against.
not what I meant, and you know that.
Do we? By your reasoning, only a true indigenous person can ever hold power. And here I thought you were opposed to blood purity.
You're twisting my words.
Am I? You've dragged my people through the mud for our peaceful teachings.
Your teachings are neo-colonial BS. You don't do the backbreaking work my people do. You don't know nor care for our history. You want to reap the rewards with none of the work this community has done to reconnect and rebuild in good faith.
Our preachings, as you call them, are the key to survival of the Mexico people. We stand for la raza, and la raza only lives if we reach la raza cósmica. We are all one people, una persona. Together we are la raza cósmica. And that is how we survive. How we have always and will always survive. Una persona, la raza cósmica.
Oh my God, I can't be the only one smelling this shit. Eco! How are you going to stand there and punish me? Put me on trial for protecting this community against neo-eugenics. That's why they're cozied up to the children of Isaiah. And why we have the bloodline rule. To keep them and their little buddies out.
Hearsay! We keep the children of Isaiah in line so that they do not take our community. The community of Santos with their colonizer ideas.
Fuck off with this cow shit! We all know the truth between you and the children of Isaiah.
People of Santos, this is why we need to rid ourselves of the bloodline qualification for positions on the council and call on those who will do the true work of decolonization without spewing blood purity.
Let's see the truth of your two-faced blood right now on this altar in the style of your Mexica ancestors would practice, huh? Shh! Shut up, you're making it worse.
Enough! Santos is already on the verge of chaos with the children of Isaiah becoming restless in the north. We need no more division. Though questionable in their preaching, the Mexico clan is right. We are one people. We must survive and live as one people. So long as you, Roth, are leading South Santos, we, the majority of Santos, are in danger. The greater Santos community has little reason to place their faith in you as leader of the South.
make a recommendation as an elder of the council?
Yes, of course, Madam Roach.
Well, yes, I am old, and in fact, a crazy India, probably so. I do recall the days of the fall and fighting alongside Roth's great-grandfather to decolonize our community and take back our lands against the Anglo. Community is at the heart of what I and my fellow radicals sacrifice much for. And I can respect the changing times and respect the call for the bloodline rule to be reconsidered. However, I caution the council to watch the line till it damns.
Madam Roach.
What the Madam means is recall when first called on Roth to serve the community, he was much younger than he is now, and with the call on someone else who's not eligible based on bloodline rule.
He also didn't want to.
And this is why, when we called on Roth, we also called on Ensa, another young member of the community who's not only a descendant of our people, but has done the work to be called our people. Together, they make for a youthful and thoughtful member of council representing South Santos. So as the council decides upon the restorative repair, might they consider a probation period where Roth steps away and Ensa fills in?
Well, how would this look, Señoros?
Well, Roth will return the keys to the archives, his office, as well as any other political office for 3 months. During this time, he shall reconnect with the community he serves under the watch of the guidance of Montes.
And Ensa, as his right hand, will take on Roth's duties.
Why do I have to be punished?
So, as an induction, or rather, a reinduction into the community will work alongside Ensa as a way to put on the work needed to become our people once again as the child of our lineage.
Excuse me?
Very well. How does this fare for the council?
And what of us? How does this restore and repair for us? We are still left with our representation, and as Oach agreed, the bloodline rule does keep our community members divided.
We will have a 6-month probationary period for Roth. He will be under the watch of Mantis, as suggested by our elders, and Ensa, with the help of Zoe, will fill in for Roth during this probationary period. In addition, the Mex Chico may enter the political buildings accompanied by a trusted member of the community council or elder and can observe and pitch ideas on behalf of their people. We will then reconvene after 6 months to decide if Roth can return to his position and discuss the possibility of removing the bloodline rule from the council, allowing not only for the Mex Chico, but others of our community, not of indigenous lineage, to be called upon for council and community representative work. Any opposition from the community or council? Yep, then it shall be. Meeting adjourned.
Ama, Tite, I love you. But what is wrong with you, old dads?
Jareli, hold my hips while I give this boy a new note.
I think what Roth means to say, he appreciates all what you do for him, but he would like further guidance.
Oh shit. I'll give you a new note. I know what the boy means. Oh no, you'll hear it all right, and you'll hear it good. I ain't want to agree with head council Sad Huevos over there. But he's right about one thing. Santos is reaching its boiling point, and I've lived through enough shit to know you don't go around bashing heads and crying your sob story into darkness to get what you want. You ought to learn that you get changed when you go to the roots.
I just don't understand why no one else sees them for who they are, for what they're standing for. It's no better than the children of Isaiah.
Listen to your ama, mijito. You must go to the root. These trials are trials to run deeper before our times, even mine and mama's.
This is all very enlightening and all, but why do I have to do with shit? I don't even know what's going on.
You know what? I'm wondering the same thing.
I didn't sign up to babysit.
Hey!
And Zip can do the job by herself just fine. And I don't need Mantis to babysit me. I'm a man.
I mean, that's questionable. How many tantrums do you throw today?
Oh, my God, Daddy.
Okay, no. You already been over this. You've been over this for 6 months, and we have done so far. What have you learned? Knowing your family and yourselves comes from knowing your history. The history of your ancestors and the land that they're connected to. This is why my child is how we'll start.
I hate when old people are right.
I hate when young people are stupid. Give me headaches from the stress. Daddy, do you have something for Ken?
You keep stressing her out. I'm gonna beat your ass for her. Damn fool, making my life difficult.
Thank you, Rita. Mira, you are all connected to South Santos, and you will, each in your own ways, return to this land what it has given to you, and give yourselves to this community as it has gifted itself to you. Bueno? That's what I thought I heard. Now let's go home. I have a cold box of Jesus blood waiting.
Act 1, Scene 3. The house is quiet except for Zoe, who tosses and turns in her bed. She slowly awakens to Toria's laughter that we can't hear.
Mama?
She hesitantly steps out of bed and follows the laughter carefully, as if it might disappear.
Please, Mama, talk to me.
She calls and runs to where she hears Toria's laughter. The laughter evades her chase, and the presence of Toria doesn't seem to hear her, doesn't acknowledge her.
Please, Mama!
She nears the presence of Toria. Toria's laughter comes from another direction, throwing Zoe into confusion.
Please.
Zoe moves with the laughter and panic, gingerly observing the presence.
I know you're here.
Zoe feels another presence looking away from Toria's presence, towards the new presence of her great-grandmother.
Mama? That's not you.
In what feels like a split second, the presence of both past women collide and send Zoe back into bed, in a confused and nervous fit as Jareli runs to comfort her. We hear soft whispers from Jareli as she holds Zoe and tells her it'll be okay. She moves away from Zoe gently to grab tissues and hands them to Zoe. They sit up next to each other.
Sometimes it helps to talk about it, but you don't have to.
You must be getting no sleep because of me.
You're not wrong, but it's all right. I know you're in funk.
I like in a funk better than depressed bitch, like Roth says.
Ignore him. He's an ass, a big ass. So big the Buros are jealous.
I like how effortlessly everyone here speaks Spanish. Kind of reminds me of my mom. Never really understood her all too well. Or my grandma. I loved hearing them speak it.
Is that what you dream about?
I wouldn't call them dreams.
Can you tell me about her? Your mom.
I didn't really know her. She passed away when I was young. I remember her through my dad. The way he loved her.
How did he love her?
I don't think he really understood her. But he loved her. He respected her.
Tell me more.
He never had much faith or belief in my mother's superstitions, or as he called them, old wives' folklore. And yet, he was always alongside her with me, shaking his head, that small, loving smile he thought she couldn't see. That smile that said he loved her more than life itself.
That's kind of sweet.
I guess so. I mean, he always seemed annoyed with her superstitions, but I think he secretly loved them.
So like Roth when Mama drags him to church.
You know, don't compare Roth to him.
I'm kidding, but it is kind of the same thing.
No, it's more like how your dad humors Mama Och.
Say more.
He wasn't an ass like Roth. He was soft.
Did you just call my dad soft?
I did, but in a good way.
Is soft good or bad?
It could be both. You're soft?
Oh, I'm soft.
In a good way?
How is your dad soft?
After my mom passed, my dad did every little thing she used to do. He kept the cinnamon broom by each doorway to the outside, lit the candles for the crossing spirits, knelt at the offerenda, and even kept her rosary with him at all times and said his prayers to the saints every night before bed, just like she did. I remember the night before I left for Santos. I followed him to my mother's grave. Where the ley lines intersected. And for the first time I saw him weep as he prayed to my mother, to his own ancestors, and to the saints to watch over me. Out of nowhere came a breeze, and the wind chime over my mother's grave sang out, and in that moment, I saw him believe what she always did.
It's very soft and really sweet. You did love her, huh?
You did.
You're right. Your dad is like my dad. Soft. Makes me wish I knew my mom.
What? I mean,
It's okay. I don't mind talking about her.
You don't?
No. She's not here, but she is here.
Like a ghost?
More like a spirit or an energy.
Oh. So, how is your dad soft, or was soft to your mom?
I think he understood, or maybe he didn't. He kind of has this furrowed brow when he talks about her, but he holds so much love for her. You can see it in his eyes that he loves her, admires her.
It's really sweet.
I like to think she was very sweet. Can you tell me about that book you keep by your bed? I don't think I've ever seen you read it.
Yeah. It's my great-grandmother's diary. My dad gave it to me before I left. Said my mom would read it almost daily.
Why don't you read it?
I'm scared.
Of?
My mom always talked about Potosi, and even South Santos, this amazing place where all our answers and prayers would be fulfilled. And I get here, and it's nothing like what I imagined. I can't find answers. I can't even find a trace of my great-grandmother here. I'm not even sure I want to go on the next caravan traveling south to Mexico. It'll be just as disappointing.
I say this with love, but Zoe, Tita and Mama are right. You haven't done much other than sit and sulk. You have to do the work. Don't give Roth any more reason to call you a depressed bitch. Go find out who your abuela was and her legacy in Santos. Prayers won't answer themselves.
You're right. Why don't you ever ask Mantis more about your mom?
I think for the same reason you don't want to read that diary.
Act 2, Scene 1. Mama Och and Jareli finish preparing breakfast, while Mantis helps set up the table. Tita Mo sits at the center of the table working on their agenda. Rob and Enza groggily fight around the coffee, as Zoe plops herself into a chair, listening to the buzz around her. La Familia continues to go about their morning business, while Zoe slumps in her chair, with eyes, bitter attitudes and concerns, and even worry watching her. Roth walking away from the coffee, glaring back at Enza. He sits at the table, piling up bacon onto his plate.
Just gonna sit there in my seat, or are you gonna do something?
You gonna share that bacon or eat the whole plate?
Gotta keep up my strength somehow.
Strength!
I lift.
Those archive books? So heavy.
They are. Oh, you got something to say to Preston?
No. Oh. No. Nothing. Would you like something for your wounded pride?
Theo? Your daughter is bullying me?
Now, children, play nice. Remember, Tita needs their time to concentrate on reviewing their daily agenda.
Agenda.
Have you paid attention at all since you've been here?
Now she the praiser, remember? You're on my side. I love cientos, Abya. I say it with love. You're family now.
And I say nothing to you with love, Zoe.
You say nothing with love at all.
I'm full of love.
Yeah, I'll love for being a pain in my ass.
Hey, careful! Tita might pull up Mama Oach and start throwing potatoes. Don't want Tita?
Hey, don't mock las papas.
Of course not, Madame Oach. Nothing but respect for Las Papas and their power.
I feel powerful after these fuckers. I'm eating those fuckers after they knock me out.
I feel traumatized.
Papas are globally respected food. Versatile, hearty, easy, powerful.
Tita, you sound like Mama.
Because Mama is like a potato in body, soft and hard.
Ay, Moshi, Dios mío, mi amor, the betrayal.
Ooh, get Mama some Vicks.
Ready potatoes, please.
Hey!
Oh yeah, some peaceful morning in his house.
That's what I'd like to know.
We're running behind anyway. Come on, kiddos. Let's get cracking.
Don't you mean peeling?
Oh, I like her. I want to keep her.
No, take her. She gives me headaches.
Place nice. Very nice.
Can we replace her with someone less her?
Can we replace you with a potato? Something more powerful, more versatile, hearty.
I'm all of those things.
This is in the medicine cabinet.
Mantis!
Oh, children, please. We got work to do anyway. And Tita looks like they're ready to toss potatoes.
I won't throw them, but Mama will. She has better aim than me.
Gracias, mi amor.
Mantis moves to clear his plate as Tita Mose hands him a copy of the agenda on his way out.
Come along, children.
As they walk out the patio door, we hear Mantis listing off the to-do list of the agenda.
Really? You're helping at the men's center today? Enza, you be training Zoe at the archives? And you're with me, Roth.
Worst punishment ever.
Zoe reaches out for a piece of bacon, only for Roth to take the whole plate and walk out the patio door. They exit.
It's all good now.
See, we have motion.
Dude, she's in my space! Tell her get out of my space!
You took the whole damn bacon! Tell her to share!
Agave para tu cubanito.
Act 2, Scene 2. Enza and Zoe walk into the archives that was once the library of the University of the Incarnate Word, now known as the Archives at Sisters of the Incarnate. The former library is buzzing with locals of Santos, filing through papers and tinkering with old age devices.
What is this place? Fool, do you ever listen? This is the archives. You know where me and Roth do our console business? Where now, unfortunately, you do your console business? I don't want anything to do with his business. And I don't want to babysit you, but we can't get it our way, huh? So what Roth business am I supposed to do? You've been here for 6 months, and you still don't know shit? Alright. The archives is one of the most vital components of Santos. Our history and culture are preserved here. But, what do you know about the fall?
the basics. A lot of violence went on for centuries in the former American Empire. People got tired of it, so they revolted, and now we're here.
So nothing about how the Southern Confederacy practically imploded.
I mean, it started in Atlanta.
Man, I gotta be a teacher too. Fuck! Okay, whatever. So what had happened was, rightly upset descendants of victims of Turtle Island colonization and the Atlantic enslavement were fed up with being mistreated by the colonizer descendants, reaping the benefits of their ancestors' violence. So they did something that everybody had been trying to do, not even a century before. Bring down the system of the American Empire, and obviously they did. Got that?
Yeah.
So they overthrew the whole thing and it spread up into a former Canadian settlement and down into the Mexican settlement and beyond the Abya Yala. Oppressors got the chop, resources were distributed, you know, all that good stuff. You keeping up?
See.
No, wait, where was I? Yeah, chop. So San Antonio became Santos post-fall. History has it that the divisions within the city tore the locals apart and brought them back together. And the divisions in the greater state of Texas were united by the whole need for community and belonging, you know, all that ancient hippie shit.
Right. This is a great history lesson and all, but what does that have to do with what we're doing here?
I was getting to that. Sheesh, I'm patient. You see those old machines they're messing with? Those machines have files somewhere inside them, and those files have more of our history and our culture. The people messing with them are trying to get that information out with the little electricity we do have. It ain't fancy like the northern shore you come from, even with the abundance of sun and wind we have.
Do people down here really think we have electricity up there?
Don't you?
Well, yes, but not like a lot. We conserve it. We can't afford to use it so loosely like you do up here.
Funny.
What?
Nothing. So anyways, what Ralph and I, and how now you sadly are in charge of, is helping the archivists with the machines and also helping with cataloging and all that paper shit. And there's something about pushing for a more foundational university thing, some shit that Ralph is always on about. And we have to, we have this project going on here involving books and writing them, like a history book, I guess. You know, Victor's write history, you know.
Okay. So, what do I do?
Help with the machines, do some paper shit. I don't know, just find something to do.
Enzo walks away to her desk, decorated with old pictures and paintings from the past and present, paintings and drawings of her own and others. Zoe wanders around, taking in the buzz of the archive. She watches, she wanders, and wanders deeper into the names of shelves, eventually coming across Ron's work area. Images, text, notes, and the sorts, all connected by strings, tape, pushpins. His makeshift desk is cluttered with even more notes and books, and even a device or two. Zoe pokes around, unsure what she's looking at, yet knowing she's looking for something. From the maze, Enzo calls to Zoe.
Hey, Northern Gringa, where you at?
Here. Where, Cole? I don't know. Here, where this desk is.
Enzo runs a corner of a shelf, coming into the space.
Of course, you will find the lunatic's mess.
This is Ross?
Yeah, it's kind of like a side project, but also his work.
What is his project?
He's, I don't know really. Other than he's developing some sort of a history book for his proposed university. I couldn't tell you much.
How far into this history book is he?
Don't know.
Do you think he'd be mad if I keep poking around?
Duh. What kind of dumb question is that?
So,
only for you, Tio Chucho. Only for you. Alright, so you start there. I'm gonna start here.
We see the day shift from morning to noon, to afternoon, to evening, as Enzo walks in and out of the chaos, checking each time to see if Zoe has broken away from her curious focus on the board and files.
This is why I never bother with the shit that Ross does. Such a waste of my day.
You had something better to do?
My actual work.
Which is?
You know what, shut up. We gotta go anyways. I don't need Mama Oach using my ass as a target practice with her papas, I know the chickies are thick, but they can only take so much.
This family is very violent.
It's called tough love, North Gringa, tough love. Come on.
Enza starts for the maze of shelves, but Zoe stalls as she sees a picture with a familiar face in the pile.
Wait. What now, chickies?
Why does Walt have a picture of my great grandmother?
Huh? Let me see. Oh shit, she looks like you, but that's ugly.
Seriously, look, isn't that
Mama and Tita's house? The fuck pretty are you doing there?
how should I know?
I don't know. You gotta find out.
I would like to know more.
She places the picture in her bag and follows Enza out of the maze. Act 2, Scene 3. Roth and Enza are outside the archives.
Please, Enzo, do this for me.
Oh, you'll get in even more trouble if the council finds out you're doing this.
I know, but you have to understand how important this is.
I get this shit is important.
Enzo! It's not just me who needs this. It's Santos. If the Mexico get the archives or hold of a single thing in it, we're fucked. We're all fucked. You should know that better than anyone.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
Your Tío Chucho.
What about him?
That shit in there is his legacy. You're not just gonna throw it away to some neo-fascist.
I didn't want to be here like him.
Yeah, but you can't.
I know what I can and cannot do, baboso. I'll bring your stupid ass files to your desk.
Keep the organization system, alright? Don't mess it up.
Oh yeah? Too late.
Too late?
Yeah, Hurricane Gringa came down.
Are you fuck? Oh, fuck no!
No. You got us in enough deep shit already.
The fuck are they doing being allowed in the archives?
It's part of the deal, remember, stupid?
Fuck no, but fuck no! They can't do that!
They can if they're the victim.
Oh, they won't be the victor.
Listen, don't be a bigger fool than you already are.
Enzo.
Listen. You want to keep my Tio's legacy safe? Then wise up and play the game. Tio Chucho hated politics and politicians, but he got where he was because he knew how to play their game. The same goes for your great-grandfather. He learned their game. So, wise up, learn, and play their game.
That's what you think they're doing, huh?
You don't know what you're on about.
Come on, Enzo. I know you hate this shit, but you do this anyway.
Shut up.
Because that's the game?
Shut up.
I ain't want to play no game either. There shouldn't even be a game. Shit, I just want to, learn about history and share it.
You don't have to be in the council to do that or any type of political position.
I do.
You're delusional, just like the freaking Northern Gringa.
Hey, don't compare me to...
Thank you so much for letting me have a tour of the archives. I would love to look through what the archivists are doing and hear more about their foundation for a university. Perhaps we could add some history from our own people, a missionary, so others can learn from us and the importance we've had to the fall and to Santos.
You keep your corrupt teachings away from the archives. There's a reason you aren't allowed here. Eco should have never made a deal with you modern-ass colonizers.
Oh, Roth, I thought you were not supposed to be here.
I can be, wherever I want to be.
Oh, but I don't think the council will be very pleased with that, you see?
You know what I think? I think you'd be a lot more useful back in your homeland of Aslata. Oh, wait! It doesn't exist, you fucking
Nosotros somos la raza cósmica. Nosotros mejoramos la raza cósmica.
You're lucky I'm being held back. I sent your no-side ass back to where you the fuck came from. Let me go, Theo.
Oh, God, stop fighting me.
Let me go, Theo.
No, Theo. No, Theo, that, no, Theo, this.
Why'd you let me go, Theo? They deserved it.
You fucked up, Roth. You gotta own it. Real leaders own their shit.
I'm doing what I have to do for our people.
You're being a child about it.
I'm being a man.
Roth?
I'm a man. I didn't mean you call me Theo Daddy on me.
Don't yell at her. She got you out of trouble by getting mandated.
You shut up. Just shut up. I'm tired of you. You just waltz in here and lay around on your weepy ass with your boo-hoo owes me shit. Then all of a sudden you're in the council on my seat. And you think you're one of us. Just because your granny was from here. She left Zoe. And she left for a reason. She and the rest of your family stay gone for a reason. And you should have stayed away from Santos, because we need you. Santos doesn't welcome you. It's not your home. It'll never be your home.
Act 2, Scene 4. Tita Mo sits beside Mama Oach reading a book, while Mama Oach is stitching an article of clothing, whose piece of clothing we can only guess. Mansis wanders into the yard, humming as he lazily goes to sit at the porch steps adjacent to Mama Oach and Tita Mo's in their chairs. He stares up at the bright Tejas sky.
Keep staring into the sun like that, and it'll wipe your eyes right out of their sockets.
Always so gentle with your love, Mama.
Mama is capable of love? Who would have known?
Tell me how sure you love.
Not motherly love, that's for sure.
Boy.
Oh, Mama, I'm just playing. You're the sweetest old woman I ever known.
She's the embodiment of love itself.
Enjoy it, mijito. It's the only love you've gotten from any women in years. And it ain't gonna last much longer.
Damn, Mama.
Ay, ay, ay. There's some mix in the machine cabinet for put a little bit on that burn on too.
Devils, you two.
You don't know the half of it.
It's a small house, Mama.
What are you listening for?
Oh, it's a small house, Mama.
Forgive my holy mother of sins.
Not exactly what you said last night.
You walk right into that one, Tite.
You will too be the death of me.
Speaking of death, Roth is getting pretty close to committing murder.
You made that sound like it's bad.
Do you take pleasure in the others, Amma?
Don't ask stupid questions.
Mama, we can't be as sexually for child here.
Why are you ruining my fun?
Mama, he lashed out at Zoe.
And? Oh yeah, I know that I am not a miracle worker and like you too. I've said my piece to him. He heard me, he always hears me. Whether he listens is another battle. Couldn't tell you if he listened this time. Thought I saw the wheels in that thick skull turning. But only his actions can tell us.
Such faith you have, Amma.
Faith ain't got nothing to do with this. It's trusting time and in the divine.
I'm worried, Amma. He bickers with Zoe, and he takes the bait with Mexico missionaries when they provoke him. But this time there was a rage in him I never seen, a deep, painful rage.
You see him as your son.
They're all my children. Maybe not by blood, but by love.
Just as you are yours, ours.
And we love you, just as you love Roth. But just as we have pushed you to grow into yourself as a man, you must do so for Roth. He may be your son.
But he's no child.
Your child, yes.
But no child anymore. He's a man now. And a man must know his actions, despite intent. carry impact, and with it consequences.
I hear you both, I do. But aren't I meant to protect him as a father would? As his father would want us to be in his absence? Maybe that's what he needs. His father.
Matis.
I love Roth like a son. He is my son, but I am not his father.
But you are in many, many, many ways.
He calls me Tio. They all call me Tio.
Am I your mother?
Ama, it's different.
How, my boy, am I not your mother? How is Tita not your parent? We brought you into our house, into our home, our family when your clan left, because you could not bear the thought of leaving Tita. It was me you called for when the nights became hard. It was Tita and I who you chose, not because we have the same blood in our veins, but because the universe drew us to each other. I may not have pushed you out my bottom lips, but you are my son nonetheless.
You are the father of this new generation of Santos. The childish adults under this roof regardless of title and blood. When our time comes, Mijito, it will be you who guides them to their future as we have you. Blood is not all that binds us. It is the lands, it is the water, it is the stars in the night. It is love.
You got soft, Ama.
Damn it, boy, we were having a moment. Bueno, enough weeping. Dinner doesn't cook itself.
What you cooking tonight, Ama?
Weepy huevos.
Ah, damn it, Ama. It's supposed to be the good one.
Well, Tita is a child of the devil, trust me.
Oh, believe what you will. Mother Mary knows my heart, body, and spirit and mind.
As do I.
Good Lord, Ama. Tita?
Sinta, mijito.
Is everything okay?
See, or yes, it will be.
What's going on?
Have you noticed the river?
Still ugly.
The water is rising.
Now that you mention it, I have noticed it crept onto the walkway. I thought it was rain at first. It has been an unusually stormy season, considering we passed the hurricane season.
Yeah. See, I fear the floods might return.
You don't mean?
I do.
All right, well, what's the plan? Place supplies on high ground and make sure everyone has access to high ground?
It won't be enough.
Oh, Tite, no.
Only a century has passed, and I and many land healers have feared the land has much left to heal from. And she will cleanse herself before the battle of the flowers.
What do you think we should do?
Me and the elders have spoken on this, and we have made the council aware. The council, however, has not only has its arms full, but its ears full. Mantis, it's time for you to step into yourself.
Tite, I don't think...
If the lineage rule falls, there is no reason you should not be appointed to the council.
I'm not a leader, Tite.
You are more a leader than you believe you are. You are the type of leader Santos needs.
Tite, I trust you and Mama. I do.
Then no buts. Only faith. Have faith in your path. Have faith in your path, my child.
Act 2, Scene 5. Unable to sleep, still rounds the corner of the house where the back patio meets the crumbling driveway. The journal and picture are pressed closely to her chest as she walks up the front steps and onto the front patio where Mama Oach and Tita Moles are enjoying late night cafecito as they gaze up at the clear Texas sky.
Mama? Tite?
I was wondering if you could tell me about Santos and the fall. What Santos was like before then.
Finally taking an interest in your history, huh?
Yeah. Kind of.
Bueno, where do we start?
What do you want to know?
What do you need to know?
I think he knew my great-grandmother.
You think we all knew each other back then, huh? Think all Mexicans and reconnecting Southern natives knew each other back then?
Mama, offense is not offense.
Lo siento, lo
Ay.
siento. Lo siento, mija. Who was your great-grandmother?
So, remember how when I first got here, Mantis brought me to you all, and all I really had to go off of was a envelope with Collingsworth, San Antonio, Texas.
This block. See?
Yeah.
Back then, that was the name of the street, the city, and the state.
Before the U.S. Empire fell.
See?
Well, I think my great-grandmother lived here. The envelope is addressed to here, and I found a picture of my great-grandmother sitting on the patio steps of this house.
Your great-grandmother, she was my best friend. Practically my sister.
So you did know her?
Very well.
I have so many questions.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you both do.
Well, where do we begin?
I couldn't tell you where. But I could tell you so much, Minita. Your great-grandmother Lotia, or Lo as we knew her, she was a true wildflower, fearless and brave, always ready for a new adventure. Living adventures that took her far away from Santos, from us, from me.
Mama, why did my great-grandmother leave here?
You were never told.
No.
She wanted something more, something better, more exciting. And Santos or San Antonio back then wasn't enough.
What does that mean?
What do you know about your great-grandmother, so?
That she left her home because she felt she needed to. She felt drawn away but could always feel to pull back. Never came back. I was told she didn't feel welcome back, so she stayed and built a community with the Eastern Woodland natives, up in the north where I grew up.
Oh, I never knew. Oh my God, I never knew.
You could have never known. But it does up.
Oh, Moshi.
Perspective, Moshi.
Sorry, your great-grandmother and I, when she left, she was mad at me. And I at her. I felt hurt by her choices, but I hurt her, and I never got a chance to tell her how sorry I was for the words that I said.
Well, my mom gave me a journal. It was my great-grandmother Lo's journal. She wrote a lot of letters. There's a piece where she apologizes to someone for leaving with anger in her heart. Maybe that person was you. You should read it.
Ay, mija, I couldn't.
I think she'd be okay with it. I mean, I think you should. You should, Mama.
Act 2, Scene 6. At the house on the south side of San Antonio on Collingsworth, we hear a young Abya Yala as she walks on stage calling to a young Mama Oach.
Hey, Mama! Pay attention to me!
Oh my God, you're so needy!
Without attention, I'll die.
Oh my God, you are worse than a lesbian.
Takes one to know one.
Whatever.
Did you ask them out?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on. I need to live vicariously through you. Vincente hasta Mari. And now my heart is torn in two.
Oh my God, you're dramatic like a straight girl and needy like a lesbian.
It's called being bi. Get with the times, Lisa. Hey, I'm only a month older than you. Whatever. Did you ask them out? Which Maddie did he ask out? The slutty one that goes to Providence, or the one up the street that takes care of her mom?
The slutty Providence one, duh. Money up the block is too good for him. She's sweet, and he's, well, you know.
And you wanna date him because he's pretty? Oh my God, love! Jesus! I'm kidding! He's a cool guy, smart and shit. Just, you know, he's not a Holy Cross guy, I guess.
I have standards, ma'am.
Not very good ones, though.
Hey, not all of us can find an amazing agender butch who wants to save the world.
They didn't even notice me.
Queers are so bad at flirting.
Like you would know.
The front door slams open from behind them. A young man steps out, letting the screen door shut loudly as he hurries to meet the young girl.
The head chucho!
You gotta see this. Give me your phone, Oach.
What for?
Mama took mine because. Just give me your phone.
This better be good, Bob.
The three watch the phone intently as the disembodied voice of a reporter plays with screams and chanting, nearly drowning it out.
I'm currently live in downtown Atlanta where rioting and protests have broken out amongst the Black and Latino community. Many are saying these riots and protests are the results of rulings from Washington, D.C. giving rights back to the states that activists claim will put the rights of many minorities in jeopardy. We'll go live now to speeches taking place at the Capitol building here in Atlanta, primarily from self-identified far-left organizers.
The chants of protesters rise in volume with police sirens in the background and roars of upset civilians. And then we hear the voice of a protester speaking at the Capitol building. The chanting quiets in volume.
Brothers, sisters, cousins, loved ones and friends, we have had enough. We have been abused, beaten, broken, misused, and manhandled for centuries in this country. We have had enough. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness was made for no one, but one man and his sympathizers. The colonizers, the settlers, the abusers, the pigs, the supremacists. This country is free for no one but one man, and he is not I. He is not we. He is not us. He will never be us. We will never be him. We will never be free so long this country lives. My people, we are done.
The chants of protesters roar again, then simmer as the speaker finishes.
We are done. Let us be free. We shall make ourselves free. Brothers, sisters, cousins, loved ones, and friends, set yourselves free. Set each other free. Set us free.
The chants rise once more until violence is heard and Chucho pulls the phone away, handing it back to Oach.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't be legit, can it? Like, it can't happen.
I don't know. I mean, shit. Anything can happen, right?
But this, now? I mean, like, shit's happened and all, but, like, they can't be serious, right? The country falling? America ending. Why couldn't it be? I'm not serious, Oach.
You know she's serious. Queen of Anarchy over here and the Land Back movement over here.
Come on, Oach, this isn't a cosplay. We're not, no, we ain't the main characters of a YA dystopian novel. But if this shit is real, and if it's really happening, and it comes, but it won't, right?
But it could.
And if it does, we have to be ready. Or we could leave. We could finally get out.
And go where?
Any place that ain't here. No, we don't leave. We stay right here and we wait. Ouch. Listen, anything is possible, mi hermana.
Think this will get me out of my algebra exam next week?
Ay, estúpido. It's a good question. This could mean no more student loans. You took your beat.
For real though, I'm a little scared.
You're scared of your shadow.
Fuck off.
Your shadow is scary though.
For real. Like, I'm spooked.
Me too. If we're being real. We're going to be okay.
Act 3, Scene 1. Roth paces around while Mama Oach sits in her rocking chair knitting. As Roth paces, he mutters undistinguishably, Mama Osh seems unfazed, but as his pacing picks up in speed and his mutters increase in volume, she becomes agitated, and the chickens wandering around the front yard become nervous. We hear the clacking of the knitting needles, fluffs of chickens, and Ross pacing and mutters.
You keep upsetting the chickens, and I'll give you a reason to really be upset. Upset chickens make sour pollo dish. Tite is making my favorite, pollo and stick. Chickens already don't like sticks up their ass.
They're dead, Ama. They don't know you broke them.
I've never considered you smart, and you give me more reasons every day.
Ama.
I know, Ama. What are you stomping around about anyway?
Nothing.
Pollo tastes all the better after they've lived salty down.
Ama!
Much better after a taste of wounded.
Ama, Cochina! Jesus Christ, old woman! What is wrong with you?
Never mess with my chicken, boy. I ain't afraid to stick it on you. Now spit it out. I ain't got all day. I am old and I have heads to chop. Chicken heads, that is.
You're a cruel old woman. Do you enjoy seeing me suffer?
What are you on about?
You gave Zoe my spot on the council.
I called on her to learn from Enza, while Enza covers your duties. Duties that you lost your privilege of holding all on your own.
She's not even from here. She's an outsider.
So are you.
No. My father, his father, they hail from these lands.
They were displaced from their lands onto these lands.
I know, but Santos had become their home.
And your mother?
That's not the same.
Her family is from here, see?
Yeah?
Well, they were displaced, like our family. Yours and mine.
I guess. But her dad...
Like your mother, came and settled from afar.
Well, yeah, but...
Soul's ties to Santos differ little from yours, mijito. Your journey, her journey. They're not two entities alone. We are so often at odds with who or what reflects us.
Mama.
You have grown so much, mijito. But yet, you are still that same boy. Come on, help me chop some heads. I'm hungry, and pollo tastes better when you cook it with your loved ones. Come on, I'll let you stick them in the ass.
Mama, what? Can I stick the big one?
Act 3, Scene 2. In the archives, Zoe is looking through Ross files. From the corner, Agatha enters out of the maze to find Zoe staring hesitantly at Lola's journal.
You've been searching through that nuts bag stuff, and you still haven't read that thing?
No. Well, bits and pieces of it, but not the whole thing.
You scared of you?
No.
Keep reading.
I'm nervous.
Great, I'm a therapist too. Alright, tell me about it.
What if I don't like what's in it?
What do you mean?
What if my great-grandma was like some horrible person or something?
So?
You have a legendary uncle. Tite and Mama are well respected, and Rolf's dad is important. What if my great-grandma wasn't?
Then she wasn't. It's not important, she's dead.
You're so comforting.
I try. Anyways, I'm getting lunch. Just read that damn thing.
Can you bring me a sandwich?
Nah, survival of the fittest, puta.
As she opens the journal, the sound of Lo's spirit is heard on the stage.
Hello?
Hours seem to pass as daylight shifts slightly while Zoe goes back and forth between pages, turning through each page slowly, then quickly until she slams the journal shut, letting out a groan.
You're not telling me anything. You're supposed to tell me something.
in here. I know, but I need to make sure my files are safe.
They're fine.
Thanks. You're so thoughtful.
I know.
What the hell is she doing here?
Not your job, that's for sure.
You haven't even been doing your job. Anyway, what is your job?
Anya.
I can't believe you really let her in here.
Stop talking about me like I'm not even here.
Because you shouldn't be. Get out.
I'm trying.
I don't care. Get out. I already told you. I'm tired of you being everywhere. I'm tired of you being here. I can't stand you.
What have I done to you?
That's just the thing, Zoe. What have you done?
Fuck you.
The hell is
Nah, don't start. The fuck is wrong with you?
Me, she's the problem.
You're both the problem. What is it with the two of you needing to find out who you are based on other people?
You're one to talk.
Just because I refuse to live in the shadow of my legendary Theo, don't mean I don't know myself. I know who I am.
Know yourself? You don't even have the courage to be yourself.
Yeah, they're right. You're a lost cause. You don't learn. You don't want to learn.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're smart, Mr. University. Figure it out.
Just trying to be the man you want me to be. And I'm supposed to be.
Act 3, Scene 3. Mama Oach is in the yard, stirring a pot of caldo over a fire, as Zoe walks into the yard and slumps down onto the ground near the fire. Mama Oach doesn't respond. Instead, she hums to herself as she adds herbs and seasoning.
Ah, you're disturbing my caldo.
Soup doesn't have feelings.
Mama Oach chucks a potato at her.
Mama! What the hell? Quit disturbing my soup with your toddler tantrums.
It's not my fault. Your favorite child's a pain in my ass.
Who pissed in your beans?
He's such a jerk. I can't stand it.
Ugh. What did Mantis do?
Mantis? No, Rob.
You said my favorite child.
Rob.
Oh, you mean the special child.
Favorite, golden, shining, special. Yeah, him.
Girlie, you're some sort of special yourself. If you think I favored that one, or any of you babosos.
Wait, but you just...
I upset my caldo again, and I'll chop this potato so hard at you that you won't wake until next summer.
Thank you.
Yeah, damn right. Now either talk to me about your pissy beans, or go somewhere else so my soup can bubble in peace.
Why did you tell the council that I should follow Enza around while she does all of Roth's duties?
That's the process of reconnecting when you're detribalized. I need some more spice.
So reconnecting means I'm supposed to do a failed council member's duties while he waits at every corner to criticize me, even though he's not supposed to be anywhere near these buildings.
As long as he stays out of his diplomatic shit, he's free to do whatever.
But he
You
doesn't...
can't just banish him. South Santos needs all of us working together to survive and keep Santos as a whole community thriving.
But he doesn't need to follow me around and tell me I'm doing everything wrong. If he got put on probation, then what good was he at his job to even begin with?
Listen, he may not be the brightest, but it wasn't legacy that got him the spot on the council. It was his commitment to finding out who he is through the hard labor of reconnecting. Same thing you ought to be focused on.
You're probably right. He's still a jackass.
Yeah, he is. So are you.
Mama.
Don't disturb my caldo. Come here. Taste this. Tell me if it needs more beans, but none of your pissy ones.
Act 3, Scene 4. Zoe jogs into the community garden at St. James, one of many across Santos. She looks around for Rob and spots him sitting on a bucket with his arms crossed off to the side. with Enza and Jareli hovering around him as Mantis wraps up his daily lessons with young folks of South Santos. She nears the other youngsters and finds herself drawn into Mantis's talk of the Tejas bluebonnet.
Bluebonnets are strong and resilient wildflowers. They are also gentle and sensitive beings who thrive on the right conditions. Some say they only live as long as we respect our sacred earth.
We don't got no bluebonnets.
No, I'm afraid we don't.
But why not? Because we don't respect the earth, stupid.
Whoa, hey now. We don't need to name call. We treat each other with kindness as we do our earth.
But we don't got bluebonnets.
I hear you. Listen close and I'll tell you all about the Tejas bluebonnets. Maybe that'll help us understand why we don't see them around anymore. One year, when the Comanche people stewarded these lands, they experienced a dreadful drought. A drought so miserable, they lost many to famine. A little girl, about as young as you are here, lost her mother and her father and her abuelitos to the famine caused by the drought. All she had left of them was a warrior doll made from the feathers of a blue jay, buffalo bones, and painted with juices from berry they had crafted for her. The Comanche weren't sure what they had done to anger the spirits. They sent a shaman to the hill to speak with the spirits upon his return. He told his people that the spirits have seen too much selfishness, too much taking and taking from the land, and giving nothing in return. The shaman said to his people that the spirits must see a demonstration of selfishness from the people, a sacrifice of their greatest material possessions. The little girl who lost her family heard the shaman and watched as the people danced around the council fire, thanking the spirits for their guidance. As the sun set behind the hill and everyone settled into sleep, that little girl alongside her doll took from the council fire the last glowing ember. She climbed to the top of the hill where the shaman spoke with the spirits. With the last ember, she grew a small fire and she held the doll close. She remembered her mother, her father, her abuelitos, and all her people who suffered from the drought and famine. Without hesitation, she threw her doll into the fire and let it burn until the ashes grew cold. She took the cold ashes of her doll and let them blow with the winds of the north, east, south, and west. Exhausted, she lay on the dry ground of the hill and rose with the sun the next morning to an unbelievable sight. Across the hill and onto the lands, far and wide, a peculiar flower grew from the luscious green grass. This flower looked like no other, with its vibrant blue petals resembling a bonnet. Comanche people celebrated that day and night, thanking the spirits and thanking the little girl for sacrifice. Each year when the spirits blessed the lands with an abundance of rain, the Tejas bluebonnets graces the land as a reminder to anyone who walks amongst this earth to be brave, to be resilient, to be selfless.
But we don't got bluebonnets. Do we have to sacrifice something so they come back?
I volunteer Zoe.
Shut up.
I'm sure the spirits of the lands wouldn't mind a kind gesture, but no, we don't have to sacrifice anything. But young earthly healers, we do need to learn how to care for the land, how to treat the land. You see, part why we don't have any bluebonnets anymore is because of the climate disaster. The people before us, over a century ago, harmed this earth as many centuries, and the earth became ill. So now, kiddos, we get to work. We heal our sacred earth so she hurts no more. Come on now, grab some gardening tools.
Wait. Bluebonnets don't grow till April?
CC, only late April, after the storms.
What the hell? Why did Titi make me plant them and watch them grow in the dead of winter? You're cool! You're cool! That's tough love, everything! That's tough love!
It did get you out of bed, Zoria.
Damn, she's hurting the earth!
I'm not. I can't believe I came here to apologize to your dumbass.
Go on, then.
No. Can't you two ever be decent to each other?
It's her fault.
It's his fault.
Whatever. Are we going to the archives or not? Because I have places to go.
Where you gotta be.
None of your business.
No, but it's technically mine.
Fine. I'm gonna go help in the West Side. They're trying to restore their graffiti art.
I didn't know the West Siders let anyone help with their graffiti.
We don't.
How did you get this gig?
Don't make this into something, all right? Like I always say, Tio Chucho knew how to play political games and he taught me how to play.
What's that got to do with finger painting on walls?
West Side graffiti has been a highly respected cultural piece of something. How do you not know that, Mr. History?
I don't know. I know about it. I just don't care for it like you do. That's why I give you all the art shit to oversee.
Well,
I don't like it.
Well, I like it, so I need to hurry up. I don't need the West Siders or their council rep mad at me.
Enza, is this what you'd rather do?
Don't know what you mean.
I think you know what he means.
Shut up, Northern Gringa.
Enza.
Look, I'm living with Tio Chucho's legacy, okay? Man built the archives himself, and he was damn proud of it. And he wanted it passed on to me. Who am I to shit on what the elders want? Whatever. Can we go? I need to go before I commit a sin on church's ground.
Enza, you don't have to do what someone else wants you to do. Remember that.
So, if it was only that easy.
So you do enjoy sneaking me into the archive.
Shut up before I drag you down to the river and drown you.
Oh, I love you too.
Hey, Dad.
Hmm?
Can we talk?
What's on your mind? Really, you know you can talk to me about anything.
I want to know more about Mom.
Oh, okay, let's talk about her.
Told me she was from here and she loved to dance and sing.
Yes, she did. She was the best cumbia dancer this side of the tracks ever saw. And she could sing Teja music like no other.
Is she happy here?
That's, I think she was happy, but she wanted something more than Santos.
More than us.
No, God, really, no. She loved us. She loved you. She would sing you to sleep every night. You would be cradled in her arms as she danced slowly across the room and love you to sleep with her soft voice.
So why'd she leave?
She wasn't meant to be a mom. Some women love the idea of motherhood, but your mom, she loved the idea of travel. I never really wanted to leave Santos. My people came here from the other side of the Mississippi, and when they traveled here, I didn't want to leave when the majority of them felt they were ready to join another caravan west. And when your mom wanted to take another caravan south, I wasn't ready then either. I'm still not.
Weren't you ever mad at her?
Are you mad, really?
No. I don't think I am, but maybe that's because I don't know her. At least not like you knew her. I do kind of wish or wonder what it would be like if she was still here.
Me too, Mima. Me too. But to answer your question, I'm not mad at her. For a while I was. Then I remember that part of what I loved so much about her and was her adventurous spirit. Because I loved her, I didn't want to make her miserable. And I knew if I asked her to stay, she would have been. And I would have never wanted that for her or for us.
That makes sense. Because then we might have someone who loves us, but probably with resentment, huh?
You got it, kiddo. At least we know she loves us, even from afar.
Do you think she'd ever come back?
I don't know, Niyita. But I know that I'm happy here in Santos with you and our family. Whether that includes your mother or not.
You are soft.
What?
Nothing, Dad. I love you.
I love you too, really?
Act 3, Scene 5. Zone and Roth dig through the archives together in Roth's makeshift desk area. There is a tension so thick not even a papa thrown from Mama O could break it. They take turns looking back at each other with glares and subtle curiosity. Roth is tapping a pen against his desk while Zoe goes back and forth flipping the pages of Phil's journal and shuffling the papers near him.
Oh, could you be any louder?
Could you be any louder than that stupid pen?
It's how I think.
Close, there's a brain between those ears.
Oh, why are you even here?
To piece together my family history, same as you.
I'm putting together the history of Santos. Maybe my family history.
What else do you need to know about your family history, huh? Your family basically built Santos.
You really don't get it, huh?
What is it that I don't get? You keep calling me names, telling me I'm stupid and don't understand anything, so what? What is it I don't get?
You just come here, looking for answers, after being depressed, and all of a sudden, miraculously, find everything, but I've had to do all this work!
You think I have it easy? You make fun of me for that. I don't have any family history right here like you do. All this reconnecting stuff is hard. So hard! It's frustrating. And it's lonely. And on top of that, I feel like I haven't found anything. My great-grandmother left here after basically breaking Mama Oach's heart. And this journal really isn't telling me anything about Love's life before she left.
That makes sense, I guess. Maybe I take for granted all the history my family has here, but you know, I got pressure on me to be some great leader like all the other men in my family. But I didn't think too much about how you ain't got much to go off of. That's gotta be hard.
It is. I guess I never really considered how hard it is to know all you know about your family and be like a legacy. Sounds rough. But at least it's something.
Don't be mad, but I did read a little through your grandma's journal and when she left it here. It does tell you stuff about when she lived here. We just gotta read between the lines.
No, you're messing with me.
I'm not, look. Right here. Your grandma talks about a memory she has growing up on the south side. That's the thing about reading primary sources or first-hand accounts. People don't always say what they mean flat out. So, they don't write it up front either.
No way. Let me see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks. Your turn to not be mad, but I took something off your board.
You! What'd you take off my board?
You had a picture of my great-grandmother on your board, and not many exist of her, so I borrowed it.
Uh-huh, you borrowed it. Wait. This is your great-grandmother?
Yeah.
You really don't pay attention to detail, huh?
What do you mean?
Look, stupid! Under her picture was a note with, "Who is she to Vincente?"
Okay, so who even is that?
Oh my god, are you kidding me? My great-grandfather!
Rob opens a drawer and pulls out the other half of the picture with Vincente, his great-grandfather, and hands it back to Zoe and nods for her to hold her side to his.
Holy shit.
I know!
No, like, you don't. To the love I never had, I'm sorry for what I said in anger. I never meant those hurtful words. You are more than enough for me. But love alone was not enough to keep me on the south side. Adventure is out here, and I want it more than anything.
especially when girls like me are only ever meant for marriage and children.
No. No, oh God, no!
Yeah!
Your grandmother and my grandfather were
lovers.
Oh! I'm not gonna be nice to you just because of this.
I wouldn't expect it.
Oh!
You know, for what it's worth, you're doing good work in the archives. You're smart, I guess.
Thanks. You're not as annoying as you used to be.
Thanks.
Fuck.
What's going on?
Those bells. They only play like that all at once when there's a distress. We gotta go.
So follows Ross lead as they leave. Ross' area of research is left in the stage as the sound of writing can be heard. Santos becomes at war with herself once more. Act 3, Scene 6. Oach sits slumped against the pillar of the patio, reading with Chucho across from her, tapping at several devices, trying to catch a signal.
Give up already. Wi-Fi's gone.
It ain't gone till I say it's gone.
You've messed with the router countless times, plugged all your favorite electronics into the wall with the Ethernet cable, and nothing's worked. The internet's gone, Chucho.
Chucho pushes his devices away, closing them and tossing them aside in silence and exasperation.
How are we gonna stay connected to the world?
Make yourself useful and go get one of the radios to work.
Ah, that's so prehistoric.
Oh yeah? Well, welcome to the future, prehistoric times.
That doesn't make sense.
Your face don't make sense. Now go on.
Chucho gets up from his spot on the patio and stomps inside, calling for their parents, asking where they keep the radio. Oach returns to reading in peace, just as Vicente storms up the driveway, followed shortly by Love.
Tell her she's insane.
What the hell is it now?
Tell her, Lo. Tell her she's lost her mind.
Lo has a brain to lose?
Haha, not funny, Oach.
Since when do you care what I do?
That ain't fair to ask.
Why are you concerned about my business, huh? Don't you got another girl's bed to go occupy?
Why are you two fighting? What are you fighting about now?
Tell her, Lo.
Lo?
You know I love you, Mama. Hello. I'm leaving the south side.
Okay, so you're going to the north side or something?
Dallas? Canada.
Told you she's lost her mind.
Go fuck your mother, Musa!
I already told you I'm not sleeping around anymore!
Lo, why are you leaving? Why now? It's the perfect time to go. Several native nations are up there banding together to take down pipelines, take back their land. I want to help. I want to get out of here. Why? I know you love this city, but I don't. I never wanted to be stuck here. I need more Ochi. I don't want to be some trash from the ghetto for the rest of my life.
Then go to Austin where all the other fakes are.
No! I don't want to be some Texas hick either. There's more to life than this city, or this state, anyway, and all of this is just gonna go to shit. This state has always been controlled by white people. Hell, even this entire city is populated by colonizers and their sympathizers, fucking Chicanos thinking they know everything. Saving this state, let alone this city from all these bullshit ideologies, isn't gonna happen, Ochi. So why not get out now?
What if I settle down with you?
No, you're the one who's lost it.
I'm serious, Lo. I know I've been around. But you're always here. I always come back to you, Lo. Grew up on this block together. You know me. I know you. would settle down. If you want to travel, we got this whole state, and even Mexico to explore.
Be serious, Vincent Day. You're unbelievable.
Don't you talk to me. I have nothing to say to you. You know I never wanted to stay here, so why are you mad? Why am I mad? Seriously, you want to leave right now as the country is fucking falling apart and we barely got a way to keep in touch anymore. Who knows? Go to your old school, dictate Morse code and telegraphs. Juju smart. He could set up something just for us. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to be, if you don't want to be here, then I don't want nothing to do with you. Joe, we stick together. Though we may not share blood, but we are family. And family doesn't do this low. So go on. Good riddance.
You're just gonna let her go? Huh? No. No, whoa, come on, marry me. I'll give you the life you want, but here in San Santo, we'll make it work. Come on.
Marrying you will never be enough to make me stay. Love don't mean a damn thing in this house, does it?
Lowe storms off down the drive, never seen again.
Got the radio working. Mayor's holding a citywide meeting. Talk about the city future and all.
We should go.
Chucho and Vicente don't question her. They nod in agreement, ready to follow her lead wherever she chooses to go. Act 4, Scene 1. Zoe walks into St. James. She wanders down the aisle, glancing between pews at the few people, young and old, praying. Subtle thunder roars outside, and we hear the tapping of gentle rain against the stained glass windows, with the faint sounds of the warring santos caught in the wind. Something unknown, or maybe known, draws her near the altar. Before she can reach the altar, Iko's unexpected presence at the front pew causes her to pause and observe him.
Iko?
Zoria. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you here too, I guess. Do you know how to pray? Wait, well, that's what you were doing.
Yes, I know how to pray.
Cool. So,
Go where you feel compelled within the church. Follow what calls you, and me. Then you clasp your hands together, like so. And then close your eyes. And call to Jesus, or to God, the Holy Spirit, our Mother Mary, the saints, anyone who will say that they will live. And you just tell them your ails, your hopes, what it is that you need to let go of from now on.
okay. Easy enough. Thanks.
Of course.
Could I ask? Never mind.
Praying feels weird when you first try it. Especially if it's not something that you learned growing up. It can be healing, freeing almost. Which is a little funny, as Catholicism, the whole church, all of this was forced on our people so long ago. It's become who we are in so many ways. Even after a century of revolting and rebuilding, we still hold it dear. Perhaps some of the things that hurt us are what heals us and saves us.
I don't know if I understand what you mean.
Things come with time. Even at my old age. But not as old as TJ Moss or Mama Oj. But old enough. Still don't know everything. I still have much to learn, especially now as time shifts again.
Time shifts.
I hope your prayers are healing.
He exits down the aisle and into the church lobby, where a crowd has begun to build for the emergency council meeting. We hear Eco trying to comfort the crowd as the doors close behind him. Phil turns back to face the altar and lets it call to her. She kneels before it and hesitantly goes into her prayer. The lights of the church fade away, leaving Zoe illuminated by candlelight alone. She calls whoever will listen. The lights dim around her as she prays. We hear whispers. Lo's presence appears around Zoe. We hear the sound of Lo. Zoe calls Lo in her prayer. They meet as Zoe prays, and the stage goes dark with only the sound of whispers. Act 4, Scene 2. Rain beats onto the church from all directions. People from all across Santos, Thames the north side, settle in quickly, awaiting the delivery of the verdict. From the door near the altar, the council, without the representation of South Santos, enters and takes their places. The elders to the council follow after, seating themselves to the right front pews beside the altar. Eco stands at the altar, taking in a breath to address the room.
Back in the day, Eco, we looked forward to retirement.
Wait, Storm, wait for the moment.
Okay, quiet please. I know we're all on edge with the recent riots breaking out across Santos and the rumors of unrest in the north by the children of Isaiah. The council understands the people of Santos question their safety under our protection. We hear your concerns, which is why we are delivering the verdict of South Santos Representative Roth for his assault against the Mexico missionary clan. The council has found that while Roth has a history of verbal assault against the Mexico and has engaged once on record, physically, he is often provoked by members of the Mexico missionary, rendering him not guilty.
Head Council Member Eco, if we may. This is absurd. I mean, Roth is not fit to lead Santos. We, however, are more than fit. If the council declares Roth not guilty and has him remain on the council, then we demand we be compensated for our tragic endurance with the representatives on the council.
The council acknowledges the strife of the Mexico missionary. However, given the history and ideology of the Mexico missionary, we have found it best for the missionary to remain without representation on the council, but are, as always, welcome to join us in our meetings as voting residents of Santos.
Excuse me? But you can't be serious. The Mexico symbolizes an ideology that has allowed people of Mexico once living in the former American Empire to survive.
The same ideology that was shared with the government of the Mexican colonial state? The same ideology that bettering the race to rid Mexico and Mexican Americans of indigenous ties.
We are all one people. We are all...
Don't!
Here we go again. As a child, I read stories about the infants. And it was always fast. Quick build-up or hasty release that left nothing but an empty numbness. But that's not how this happened. And that is not how it has happened now. Like the setting sun, it happened gradually for an hour, a decade, a century, or 2 or 3 or more, carried into a new millennium,
into a new day, a new life, and yet they still wonder how it happened. And each of you sitting here still have no idea how we got here, as if it all happened so suddenly out of nowhere. I remember the day the fall started vividly, how in the moment it felt so quick, but you have to think of things like this as a brujita slyly cooking a toad. You don't throw the toad into boiling water right away. You gain its trust. Tell Señorito Toad you'll welcome him into your new home with a soothing bath and a fresh meal. You set him up in a conspicuous pot with lukewarm water. Sprinkle in your salts, healing salts. You tell him. You adjust the heat so he doesn't get cold. Adding more healing salt, then add the herbs and the spices. Flavor for you, a healing placebo from him. Keep slowly turning up the heat. He relaxes and stews in your seasoning. You'll notice eventually how odd it all is. But by the time he goes to leap from the pot, you'll have the lid pushing him back down until there's a clash, shattering of glass, blood, and maybe ash. And life will be in the past. You've gaslit his protest too many times for far too long. They question how it happened and why, and each of you do the same. Shouldn't we as people know after all this time? In my old age, I can only hope and pray to Jesus that you have learned from the sins of those before you and before even me.
Silence except the building storm.
Thank you, Madam Walsh. This, my good people of Santos, is why we have made this verdict. We cannot risk making the same mistakes as those before us. However, there is one last piece that we have yet to discuss, and that is the bloodline rule. The council, with guidance from the elders, have decided to repeal the bloodline rule in favor of reconnection rule, in that anyone interested in representing their community of Santos must show they are working alongside their people and they are one with their people. Not only can they claim their people, but their people claim them.
Nico, if I may.
Of course, Rob.
This isn't to admit to a room of my people, but I never thought of myself as a leader. Admittedly, I still don't. On the other hand, I'm not sure how much of a follower either. To be frank, I don't know where I lie in this dichotomy. What I do know is I've always wanted to be like my father. His father before him. They were leaders. Fair and kind, but wise and strong and firm in their actions and beliefs. They knew what was right for the people of South Santos, our people. And they were loved, respected throughout our side of the tracks and even beyond. And I am to our people a disgrace. I know my faults, but I can't face them. I can't face who I am and who I struggle to be. Maybe that's why I'm not a leader. Because how can I lead our people when I can't lead myself to my own war, the war that rages within myself? The same war that surges through Santos, that has surged through our people from Turtle Island to Abya Yala centuries before my existence could even be conceived. How could I lead and I could never follow. Which is why I'm asking the council, head council member Eco, and the council elders to consider a new representative for South Santos.
Thunder rumbles as the rain builds and lightning flashes. Zoe reaches out to Roth, which encouragement.
It is the choice of the council member to step down. If both South Santos representatives feel ready to step down, then they have the support of the elders.
Roth and Enza make eye contact, nodding their heads in agreement. Mantis looks at Fidemos and Mama Oach, and with a deep breath stands before the council, joined by Roth and Enza.
Council of Santos, we as the representatives of South Santos step down in our roles. We thank you and the people of Santos for allowing us to serve.
So it is.
Council, if I may. With the blood rule repealed, and with the work of becoming a member of this community from a young age, having been raised by the people of Santos, by elders whose connections run deep into Mexico, who are claimed by their nation south of us and here in Santos, I would like to nominate myself as the next representative of South Santos.
We hear the cracking of thunder, the rain pounding at the church from every direction. We see the water in the church rising quickly past ankle level, as a roof leaks streams rather than droplets.
Enough, okay? This is only proving that this council is no longer fit to protect Santos. Riots have broken out as a result due to the unrest on the north side, and the people of Santos have expressed that the council is not doing enough to protect them from the children of Isaiah. And the council's solution is to let a freaking delinquent run free and then appeal a rule and remake a new one that still keeps our people out of council. It is perhaps time the council be dissolved and we, the Mexico missionary, not only be represented in the government of Santos, but lead Santos to a more secure future.
You lost it.
Yeah, I may not know everything, but no. I agree with Ross. You have lost it.
Shit is about to really go down.
Rarely am I one to interrupt a council meeting, but the water is rising.
Eco, we need to adjourn this meeting.
No, we are not leaving without a place on this council.
You're putting people's lives in danger, holding out for something you'll never have. What aren't you getting? We can never be one people in the way your ideology calls for. It gives into colonization, the very thing this community is against. We are one people, as a collective of men.
The storm makes itself even more known.
The water is at our knees. We need to end this now.
Yes, the council has made its decision. If the Mexico cannot accept the word of the council, then the mission is more than welcome to join the children of Isaiah on the north, as most of them already have.
All at once, the floodwaters take over the church. The windows shatter. We hear several gunshots as we witness Rock jumping in front of Eco, followed by Enza running to Rock, Zoe running to tackle the gunman, Jaredi reaching for Zoe, and Mantis to Jaredi, while Mama Oach and Hidemos kneel into the water. The stage goes dark. We hear screams, shuffling of bodies as they shuffle in the water, chaos, and then...
Mama!
DJ! Silence. Hidemos and Mama Oach step out from the darkness.
It's time, Tite.
You think so, Mama?
I know, so Moshi. I feel it deep in the bones of my soul, don't you?
I do, Ochi. I do. We lived a miraculous life.
We certainly have. Speaking of, I want it written in history that we died peacefully in the chaos of a new arising era.
Of course, we were. Of course.
Ain't no way I went at the hands of a fascist after all these decades.
Claro. Te amo, Ochi.
Te amo, mi Moshi.
To hear the cries of Santos rise in value as it is at war with itself, as we as people so often are. Tita Mose and Mama Och turned to face each other, embracing with their noses and heads close. For a moment, all is silent, as Tita Mose and Mama Och fade from sight, and through the distant cries of Santos, we hear something celestial indicating the passing of Tita Mose and Mama Och. Act 4, Scene 3. Years have passed since Lola San Antonio. Och and her family and friends have stepped up as the next generation of leaders to rebuild the city and state in a decolonized life. Och sits at the patio on a rocking chair reading. Her partner Mose walks up the driveway, taking a seat at the patio steps adjacent to her.
Och, the proposal for a council is approved. They'll be holding elections tomorrow night, followed by a vote to rename the city and vote on Chucho's proposal of the new city's layout.
That's good. I'm sure Chucho's nervous.
He is, but he's hopeful he can at least get the new council to agree to a project he calls the Archives.
Let me guess. The project that involves siphoning data off of old laptops and computers.
Of course. And he says he knows it'll be approved because he's learned the political game.
Oh my God. And I'm the one caught up in fiction?
Hopefully there won't be any more need for these political games going forward.
We both know leadership is bound to become corrupt if left unchecked. That's the game, Moshi. Sometimes I wish she'd come running up the driveway, like she used to. But she's not coming back, is she? Wherever she is, I hope she's happy. I hope she's okay.
I know. And I'm sure she hopes the same for you.
Hopes?
Yes.
You'd be happy making a home here.
With you? Absolutely.
I couldn't promise kids, though.
As long as you are by my side, I am more than happy to share a home with you here.
Lo always looked down on the idea of settling down, having a family. But I kind of like the idea.
It's a nice idea. A little odd for people like us, mostly because people here don't always like us.
Isn't that true? But we're the generation that'll lead this city forward. And if we say no more queer phobia, then so be it. You and I are gonna grow old and be a part of two badass elderly queers.
Dale.
Viva la queer, huh? Rose, see? You know what I missed the most since this all started?
What's that?
The blue bonnets. Do you think they'll ever come back?
I think so. On their own time, of course, when they determine the land and its people have begun healing enough.
So wise. You are my Mochi.
Lights dim on the house. Act 5, Scene 1. Those sits slumped against the peak entry, staring absentmindedly at the dirt. Rock walks out of the house, filling the beer bottle. Music on the Ocho's walking stick for support, as he tries to hobble down the front steps until he throws himself down to sit on them, frustrated.
You decide what you're gonna do about that?
Dunno. She got something to say? Say to my face?
You're stupid.
I'm stupid. Look at your reflection in that bottle again.
You could go find your family, your people, who you are. But you hesitate to leave this hell. To leave us. Bunch of no good nobodies. Stupid. I didn't mean, I just...
I know. You ever wonder when there won't be a burden to carry?
What do you mean?
I don't know, like,
Every generation has some sort of burden that they carry from the last generation. When are we gonna not have that? Just live.
Wow. You really are some sort of special stupid, huh?
Hey now, what's all this laughing?
Zoe being stupid.
When is she not stupid?
Hey! Come on now, don't be calling Zoe stupid.
Thank you.
You are all wisely stupid in your own way. Seriously though, what's going on?
Well, Zoe's got this dumb idea that someday we'll live without the beast of our ancestors' burden.
I just mean, what would it be like to not have to do all this? This healing and rebuilding from shit that happened centuries ago that's still fucking shit up today.
Wouldn't that be something? Is that possible?
Well, they say there was once a time when the people of Turtle Island lived just to live.
Well, couldn't we get there someday? Isn't that what our ancestors wanted when this whole thing started? For us to have better? To live, just to live again.
There's no doubt our ancestors want us to live free from their pains. The same pain and hurt, the same trauma that lives in our bones, that we pass from one generation to another. But we can't forget that life in the past will almost always feel safer than the future. In the past is the pain we have fought once, and in the future is the pain we have yet to face, or that we fear to face again. It's impossible to think that we'll never be without pain and suffering, especially when it becomes so much of who we are. We are only ever this one present moment, and maybe for our ancestors, that's what made living just living. Perhaps they found solace in holding the past close as they navigate the moment and stumble into the future.
Where we find that solace.
We heal, right? Isn't that what we've been doing for centuries now? Doesn't it ever stop? Shouldn't it stop?
I like to tell you it does. But me and Morris, I have no faith it ever does. But that doesn't mean life is never worth living. That doesn't mean we'll never know peace. Mama Oach, TJ most have lived more than a lifetime, and they've seen so much, felt so much, and yet they just live just to live. Because they live in the present. And maybe that's where we heal, in our present, the moment where past and future meet.
Dad.
Theo!
I know, I'm just...
We know.
That celestial sound of the heavens falls on their ears. They look at each other. And as if hearing the voice of family far away in Abya Yala, she turns to where Mama Oach and the Ilons lay softly gasping.
We're back.
We never truly left.
From the mound where Mama Oach and the Ilons lay beneath the earth, returning to the creators in the heavens to join the ancestors in their celestial life, a single bubonic begins to sprout. La Familia watches, letting tears roll down their cheeks, knowing they're going to be okay.
Thank you to Arya for sharing this beautiful play with all of us. I just wanted to point out, if you didn't notice already in your programs, there's a little QR code. Please take some time to scan that and learn a bit more about this play, about the development process and all the people involved, and also about Playing Vision Collective. And please join us for a little reception now. You'll have a chance to talk with all these folks.
And
yes, and return the